So let me know when you're up, Sarah, and then we'll go right into it.
Just waiting on Substack.
A memoir.
Come on, Substack.
Streamplace is up.
Okay, all right. So
there's Substack.
Yeah, I just got the notification of Substack. So, and we already have 3 people. Yay. So. All right. Anyway, I'll go right into it. So, what did I do this morning? Well, today I was reading about a congresswoman that is inventing stripper panics to erase trans kids from classrooms. I don't get why that was a thing. Kansas has turned into a giant fucking shithole. Kansas is literally now the worst state ever. If you are trans and you live in Kansas and you go into a bathroom that is not attributed with your birth gender, you can be arrested and put in jail for 6 months. Also, the person who reports you for that crime can sue you in a civil action with up to an $8,000 fine. So on top of all that, all of the trans persons or suspected trans persons in Kansas received a letter yesterday saying your driver's license is no longer valid. You have to come and get a new one. So I'm just like, and then on top of all that, I was going through the Epstein shit again. And the DOJ apparently shit gargled the only Epstein documents that mentioned the president and erased them completely and utterly. So I was like, fuck this shit. But on top of all that, I got the indication that Substack is starting to shutter and shadow certain accounts to the obvious effect of others. Our weirdo friend who is on the show right now has experienced this. So I'll just let you talk about this and then we can comment.
Yeah. So for those who are unfamiliar, I'm a community college teacher in Ohio. I am in a federal lawsuit to protect trans students from harassment in educational context. And, that's going as well as you can imagine in a situation in which trans people are not really being granted legal rights. But I came here as your weirdo friend to kind of minimize my sort of legal name footprint and be able to just share information as your weirdo friend about community organizing. And one of the things that I have been working on that has become very popular, there are like 11,000 views on Substack on this, and there are people that I'm talking to across the country, this formation of organizing called the Daisy Chain. And I've been mentoring people across the country, and it's simply a way for neighbors to help each other outside of political infrastructures that are weaponized against them. And I was working on a video and removing the AI filters because Substack has AI filter is automatic, and it often hoovers up inconvenient words. And I got an error message, and then my blog was completely deleted. And then when people complained about it and it went back online, it was like atomized into different pieces that I didn't create. And then from there, people started creating spoof accounts, including like old social media that I had deleted years ago. And so I'm right now currently blocked. Muppet Gender, which was my original blog, your weirdo friend, is still there. I just can't access it. And I guess for anyone listening, my biggest suggestion, because I don't think that I'll ever be able to get back on it, because Substack is all based on AI and they have no actual customer service that will respond to you. My only suggestion to people is if you're interested in the stuff in the Daisy Chain, copy that shit, download it, and make it yours and spread it. I'm pissed, obviously, that my free speech is being suppressed again, especially since part of the federal lawsuit that I am in is a First Amendment case because I was being retaliated against for speaking up for trans students at my university. So this is like the second instance of someone being like, "Oh, you inconvenient trans person, shut your mouth." So that's all I've got to say. But if you've got any questions, or I'm happy to answer them or talk about it.
So that from my perspective, my inside track, because I know a couple of their devs. There's a lot of unrest in that org that's going on. Of course, I'm saying this And I'm on Substack and I'm saying this, but Sarah, can you handle my lightweight for me? Our YouTube comments. This is why we're moving to the Federated Universe.
I got the block on that one.
Because
I can't even see them on YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTuber comments but regardless, so the inside track is that Substack as a company is hurting. They're running out of money. They have development issues. They're having release issues. One of the guys that I know is like, I'm leaving the company as soon as I can find a place to get out and leave. And I literally told him, I'm like, well, I'm just going to tell you, I know Tyler. I have a relationship with Tyler at Beehive because I'm an enterprise licensed Beehive instance. And so I join calls with him all the time. I know he's looking for developers because he's bugged me about writing code before. Do you want me to proctor a relationship with you so that you can get out of that toxic, fucked up space? And he's like, oh, yes, please do this for me so I can get the fuck out of here. It's nuts. It's crazy. And so, but the word that I have from that communication is that, yes, there are problems. And yes, they are targeting accounts. And yes, they are going to start blocking people out. For the very hypocrisy that they have engaged. Recently, my friend Kryn commented on a post that somebody made that I was about an article that I wrote, which is the Substack bubble lie, which is the whole follower deal. And I went and read the quote, and then I sent the guy a DM, and I'm like, you have no idea that rabbit hole goes even deeper than that. And so, yes, what I think you're going to see is more censorship from Substack going forward. That the focus is now not being a platform for writers and a platform for people to express, and it's taking a social media turn, and that's not what it was meant to be ever, in my opinion. And so, this is where I say, okay, now we have to change the spaces that we're in. We have to go away from corporate ownership for the content that we're generating. We have to go away from resources that have billions and millions and millions of people. By the way, millions and millions and millions of people that are generating content, which is the most brain-rotted bullshit I've ever seen in my life. If I have to watch one more video of this is what this rock star looked like 45 years ago, this is what they look like now, AI bullshit, I'm literally going to, because
don't do that.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But we have to go to the outer edges. And here's the thing. As of moving 60% of my infrastructure to the Fediverse, I increased my reader count and my paid reader count by 25 to 35%. So literally, if you function in that space, you get reliable readers. If you function in Substack space, you're at the bend of their algorithm, whatever the fuck that is. And if you get too popular, then they take more money from you. Because that's the other thing. Substack is lining up, for every indication that I have, to take more than 10% of everyone's gross to keep the money flowing. And I've been told by people who write very large publications that they are not okay with this. They're just not okay with it. And so my suspicion is that, again, as I wrote in the Substack bubble article that I wrote 2 months ago, that bubble is about to burst. And when it does, there's going to be a vacuum there. And what vacuum gets taken up is probably going to be a mix of Ghost and Hive and WordPress maybe, and, one other offering. But, it won't be Medium, because Medium has already run its course, and very much like Substack, they're having capacity issues. They're having authorship issues, and Medium is not a way to go and make money anymore. They changed the algorithm 2 years ago. That's why a bunch of people went to Substack. Same reason. So, well, from my perspective, your reader friend, I want to support you with whatever I have. If what I have can support you, if what I have can help you get the word out, I am 100% willing to provide those resources.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, I highly recommend, as you've said, that folks get familiar now with PeerTube and Mastodon and all of these different alternatives and make that migration. I think it actually might be, I mean, I don't know. I think it might be healthier, but then I mean, I'm curious. Like, I see what happened to Blue Sky, and it just got flooded with all of these like fake accounts, you know. Do you think that will happen to Mastodon or Peer? Do you think, I mean, I know that self-hosted blogs are good, right? It's a way to tell that there's a real human behind it. But do you think that when people say flee to Mastodon, that they are going to be in a situation where they're going to be dealing with that sort of flood of AI bots that kind of descended upon Blue Sky?
My suspicion about that is no, and here's why. So Blue Sky is not as decentralized, even although it is. The AT protocol is open. You can write applications against it. People do it all the time. One of the streaming services that I stream to, for instance, is stream.place. That guy literally built a streaming service on top of Blue Sky's AT Proto. And so when I go live, I get a little live ticker that goes over my Blue Sky profile or whatever. And so yes, that protocol is open. You can write against it. Does that mean that, like, if it got wildly popular? So here's the thing about Mastodon. I would say no, because Mastodon is a collective of larger, smaller stops that are inside that universe. And so those are all controlled by people. And how those people control that and how those people regulate that determines that quality of content. And from that perspective, no, I don't think bot accounts will ever survive in that space because,
nice.
You know, when you register a Mastodon account, almost every server out there will ask you, is this an automated account? And if it is, you are identified as an automated account. And if end woke insanity. Sarah, can you take care of my lightweight for me, please? Anyway, so if you create a bot account on a Mastodon instance and you don't identify as an automated instance, they ban you pretty quick. I mean,
Nice.
it happens. Yeah, it happens pretty fast, and that's one of the reasons why Mastodon instances and Pixel Fed and Loops and all these other spaces are kind of core audience people, because they don't let the bot accounts in, they don't let the AI in, they don't let any of that other shit in, and it's just people like us talking. Now, what does that mean for us from a financial perspective, as much from a viewership perspective? That means that we get a smaller audience, but we tend to adopt and take on more engaged audiences.
Yeah.
And so, from my perspective, that's what I want. I don't want 500,000 subs. I really don't. I want 500 subs. And if 500 of those subs paid me $2 a month, I literally would not complain about that at all. I'd actually be doing pretty good from my perspective. I think I'd be doing what I want to be doing with my work. Now, that said, of course, and I said this before, I've had a percentage increase because of my participation in the Fediverse that has indicated a 35% increase in growth. But, I'm the administrator of those instances, so I have the little power that says every time someone registers an account, they have to follow me. But I would amend that list with founding members in those instances, just so those people would benefit in the same way that I do. But regardless, no, I don't think that you're in the Fediverse space. bots have tried, and it has not gone well. There was a huge bot flood that happened on Mastodon Social like a year ago or whatever, and I mean it took like a week for them to clean it up, but they cleaned it up very quickly. And then about 8 months ago, there was a big AI slop drop in the Fediverse space, and that took like 2 or 3 days for them to clean it up, but then it was all gone because fuck this or whatever. We don't want this.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think the point of the AI slop is? Do you think that it is just as it is in normal fascist times to create a situation where you can't trust who you're talking to and you can't trust what's real?
So here's the thing about that. So my partner and I talked about this the other day. So I read a fascinating news article about the advent of that kind of media. And here's what happens. So you have one guy that has 150 TikTok accounts, and that's all that guy is doing is posting just AI slop, like the worst, easiest generated in 3-minute AI slop videos that he can. And he's feeding it into that space. Now, those AI slop videos are getting 500 and 1,000 and 5,000 and 8,000 and 10,000 likes. And all these favorites and all these, comments or whatever. So the other bot accounts are inflating those posts from his accounts. So the bot ecosystem is churning itself one over the other and one over the other and one over the other until those accounts generate, and I shit you not when I say this, between $45,000 and $85,000 a month.
So it's like a Ponzi scheme, an AI Ponzi scheme, but
yes.
but also kind of like that's weird to me because I mean, yeah, I've heard that there are people who are making money sharing disinformation and things like that, like large amounts of money. So wow, but so I mean, that's the wildest part, right? Because then you can look at a thing and think that because it's got all of these shares and likes that it is legitimate information. It almost seems like in living in the upside down, the best way to sort out whether information is quality or not is the lower amount of shares and likes given the suppression or whatever. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like if someone is navigating that space, is that a way for people to discern? I don't know. This is a wild moment for people who are trying to suss out what is happening,
Yeah, I mean, the direction that's taking and why it's going in that direction is very unusual to me personally, because, again, it's very clear, for instance, that the AI bubble is eventually going to burst. I mean, it's self-inflating. And so, like, for example, a byproduct of this, building your own home computer it now costs 2, 3, and 4 times as much money as it did a year and a half ago, because literally chip manufacturers are throwing all of that infrastructure, all of that hardware for AI generation. And so the video card that I put in this box a year ago, I got for like $900. This card retails now for between $1,900 and $2,400.
Man.
And it's all because, AI generation. And so
that is
shitification.
So, but just like with the whole slop thing, it's a bubble. And it's a bubble that is increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. All the people that are in that bubble are pumping into that bubble because they want the money out of it. Here's the deal. When that bursts, it's going to crater. And when that crater happens, who the fuck even knows what that's going to look like? Who even knows what the fuck that's going to look like? Or be, or do, or anything else. I mean, shit, there's a point where we're going to reach diminishing returns. When does that happen, and what does that even look like? So, going back to the Substack thing, it's like, again, like the user inflation count issue. So
Mhm.
when you become a contributor publicly to a publication, if that publication has 20,000 readers, then you get the cosmetic 20,000 readers attached to your profile. There's no asterisk there. There's no reason there. A user looks at that and says, oh, they have 20,000 readers. They must be a valid writer. Because if they don't, they wouldn't be. And so that bubble is eventually going to burst. That was my whole gripe. And I know people are going to hate me when I say this. That was my whole gripe about Dana Dubois and Lawrence Winterman, because they went to Blue Ant Media and they became basically co-authors of that publication, which meant they took all 545,000 of those subs, and those sub counts were added to their profiles. Which, by the way, I want to point out, when I pointed this out to everybody in that article, literally every person on Blue Ant Media, including Lawrence and Dana, all blocked me so that they didn't have to read it.
That sucks. I mean, I think that there can be like a legitimate, like, I think that there can be should be a legitimate conversation about how that is harmful to writers, you know, and that I, as somebody who sees conflict as a productive space, it's really hard to hear that. I was not aware of any of that, and I'm sorry that you were blocked, because I think that there could be a productive conversation around that. So that's always my thought, is that, you know, conflict gets you closer to something good. But apparently, you know, I think sometimes we're, I don't know, primed to be afraid of digging in and talking about it. I'm sorry that happened. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's part of why. You know, and you know, all of these problems are predicating a much larger growing issue, and when that issue falls over, what happens? I have no idea. You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that people are going to be pushed out of Substack regardless. I mean, it sounds like, you know, when Elon Musk said he was a free speech absolutist, what he meant is, I want my speech to be absolute and for everyone else to not be able to speak. You know,
Right.
And I think that that's always the case with like malignant narcissists, is that you literally have to just hear what they say and then do the sort of math of being like, oh, it's the absolute opposite of it, you know, kind of like right to work states. They're never right to work. They're trash union states or whatever, right? So, I mean, it is, I do think that I am worried about people who do not have a parachute for when Substack collapses. I think what happened to me, regardless of like the subscribers, I think I don't want to say I'm different, but I was suspicious about adding payments or getting a lot of subscribers, one, because of what I was doing, and two, because I saw that trans people and also Black women writers were getting their payments attacked as a way to like push them out. And that started in January of 2025. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm not going to be in this situation. But I am worried about people I hear people all the time saying Substack is the only place I go for news. Which is scary in and of itself, right? But if people don't have backups, if they're not on federated spaces, especially like Mastodon, if they don't get in an instance, then they're going to be profoundly disconnected from what is going on. And that is very concerning to me, because I think they're trying to create an informational vacuum where people just have to believe the regime.
No.
Bonkers.
No.
I mean, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. How do you know? Can I ask? I mean, how hard would it be for somebody to create a Mastodon account that's like Mastodon for dummies? And I don't mean dummies like someone's unintelligent, but like I personally, like I'm on Mastodon, but it's hard for me to know who to follow unless I already know them. So it's hard for me to discover people. Yeah.
So it's interesting you bring that up. So people have asked me that before. So I literally have an article cooked that's going to come off of thistleandmoss.com in the next couple of days, where I literally say, here's the resource. Here's what you want from the resource. Here's how you use the resource. Because, using that resource, and welcome back, Miranda, using that resource and leveraging that resource effectively so that you can find the people that you want and you can find the audience that you want is entirely predicated by the effort that you put forward to accomplish that. And so, people join my instances and I'm like, well, okay, you need to, here's the how-to novel and just do this. And then if you do this, it'll all work out. Because again, for example, my what would be a really good? My Mastodon instance. My Mastodon instance is bridged with Blue Sky. So whenever any one of my recognized Blue Sky accounts makes a post on Blue Sky, that crosses into my Mastodon instance and creates a post. Every post that I make where I mention that account goes out to Blue Sky and makes that post. So there's a way to bridge that communication. I'm doing the same thing with the PeerTube server, which I'm working on currently, to basically one-way egress data from YouTube so that there is recognizable YouTube data that can come into the instance, but none of the data that goes into the instance goes out, because I don't want to feed into Google's ecosystem, but I do want people to have access to the content that they want to have. And so there are ways to do this. And so that's why you build this infrastructure so that, when you join it, okay, I got to go in here, and then the servers are already federated. So I can find all of the people that I want in the federated universe. Here's an example. On our Mastodon instance, I federated against flipboard.com. That means all of NPR's news, all of the Guardian's news, all of Vox's news, all of Mother Jones's news, like all the publications that I care about, publish content on the Flipboard Mastodon instance, and that flows into the instance. So that if you are a member of that instance, you get all of that data in whatever proctored way you want to collect that data, and in whatever capacity. And so, from that perspective, there's a way that you can curate the instance to behave the way you want it to so that you can have access to the content that you want to. So, I do have if you're going to join a federated server, here's what you need. Here's what they are. Here's how you register. If you join our instance, do so understanding that there are rules attached. So, like, for instance, I have on the Loop server, I have reputation. If you start posting AI shit, you're going to get your video posting privileges ripped and taken away because you're posting AI slop, and I don't want.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want that in the space, and so
that's legitimate. I would love to collaborate with you. I'm just thinking about people. I don't know. I want to get your take, like all y'all on the call, like, do you ever get like overwhelmed with written instructions around navigating tech, or is that just me? Because for me as a visual learner, I almost need to see like hearing you. I want to create like a screencast-o-matic for like break it up in parts and to do like small 5-minute videos that are like, here's how you do this, right? So that, because I when people show me instructions, they're like, you just do this. It's like, I often feel very overwhelmed and I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to do this. I mean, what is y'all's take on that? Do you also feel that way about like written tech instructions if like tech is not your first language?
I make PowerPoint training.
Yeah, I need like people to show me, and I need written instructions. I need people to show me again, and then written instructions, and then again, and written instructions, and then I'll probably pick it up. But the point is, I can't do it on my first try, and I need someone to show me, and I need them written. I need it all.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So I would. I would love to collaborate on some short videos if you're interested, just that are just really like low tech screencast-o-matic things that are like, here's this thing. I also think it would be kind of cool. I don't know how, but it would be kind of cool to create like a little peer group, like digital first aid that does exactly what Onyx Rose is talking about, where you sort of help people and you're like, hey, you're new here, and I just want to help you navigate because this can be a little complicated, but once you get it, and then it could be an each one teach one thing where it's like, I teach you and you join this little pod of like helping people so that nobody feels lost. I just, as a teacher, I can't help it. Like as a community college teacher, I'm always like, what's the problem and how can we fucking fix it? Because I absolutely hate it when people try to, I don't know, just discourage people from finding alternatives. It just pisses me off. I don't like these bullies. God damn it. And I don't want people to feel lost in a new context. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Give me just a second.
Yeah. Are any of y'all getting like shadow banned on Substack or experiencing any of the fuckery that I'm experiencing? Has it happening to you at all, or
I haven't been active on Substack since October.
So from my perspective, the 50, 60, 70, 80, and 100 people I got 6-7 months ago is my Substack audience is now 20 people. And I literally just want to tell those 20 people, look, here's my loops instance. Here's my live endpoint. Go watch the show there. Don't feed into this. Don't feed into this ecosystem. That, by the way, 1, does not represent us. 2, doesn't care about us. And 3, is actively attempting to undermine the voices that we have.
Yeah, that is most definitely true. I feel like that's the part that really like has kind of fucked with me the whole time on Substack is I look at the owners and I look at that infrastructure and I'm like, man, these people fucking hate trans people. These people hate democracy. Like, why am I trying to create a following here? And I also, just kind of reject the check mark chasing. I think that there's something about status that pisses me off. I don't know. I just get scrappy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like cloud is organic for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is more like, go ahead, Wendy.
It is entirely organic, yes.
What were you going to say, Onyx Rose?
Yeah, you were going to say Onyx Rose.
I'm clear. No, I'm clear.
You're clear? Oh, I was hoping you would.
No. My thought goes in and out. So, this one went out.
That's real. Yeah, like I just feel like for me, and I don't know, but it's just like I feel like we should be working towards like developing relationships. And I feel like at least on Substack, the people, I don't know how many people who are following me are real or who are not. But what I do know is that like on the back end, I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of like Signal one-to-one conversations about people organizing. And to me, like that's really why I'm there. So like I was judging my success before I was blocked out of Substack, assholes. But and I don't know if that's Substack or if it's just that Substack is allowing this infrastructure where trans people and trans voices can be hunted by hackers. I don't know what is happening, I really don't know if it's malicious on the part of the creators or if they've just created the space in which they have no guidelines or guardrails to protect their writers. What are y'all's thoughts on that? What's happening?
I think that's it. Well.
Yeah, I readily agree with that 100%. It just so here. Let me put this into perspective for you. So, for instance, Beehive runs stringent filters against emails with or without reputation. So when I took my 5,200 subs or whatever, and I imported all of them into my Hive instance, I only got about 1,800 of them. Mm. Literally, Beehive dropped the other 3,600 or whatever on the floor because those emails were likely spam accounts or likely accounts that have a negative reputation. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's how that flies. You know, that's how that works. And so, it's a hard thing to sort of adjust against because, again, Substack is a bubble. So user counts on Substack are entirely inflated by variables that you have no understanding of, no conception of, and then on top of that involve things that don't actually involve real people.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I don't know if y'all have been paying attention, but this is just a thought, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like sometimes that there are bot accounts that, how do I put this? They seem, how do I put this? They comment things they include things in the comments that don't feel related to the blog at all. And I sometimes wonder if it's like almost like an AI weight, so that it looks like a true commenter who's like commenting on your stuff, but not actually addressing it. But the purpose of that comment is to somehow shadow ban your shit. I don't know if that's true, but I've noticed that. And so I started blocking people who would put comments on my pieces. I almost wanted to block comments entirely and wondered if in doing that, I might be able to prevent that, that sort of weaponization. But I do sometimes wonder if the bot commenters are themselves also a function of shadow banning. But I'm only just guessing that based on just pattern recognition. But I just wonder, is that something that you think? Because I feel like people need to sort of learn to spot stuff. And I don't know if I'm just being, a non-tech conspiracy theorist or what, but something feels sus about some of the comments that I get on my pieces. Have you all had that?
Oh yeah, gosh, of course.
Oh, you have to. Okay. Because, it's hard to know. No one talks about like the weird shit that's happening. And I shouldn't say the weird shit because I'm trying to rehabilitate weird, but
I mean, I'm all for taking it back. Hell, I never thought we were going to be able to take queer back, but finally we took queer back. So I'm cool with that. So yeah,
I'm happy.
I think, but yeah, there is a methodology and an understanding for how all this shit is playing out and how we're all ultimately affected by it. And here's the thing. I published something on Substack a year ago. It has almost 10,000 likes, and I still get like somewhere between, I would say, 10 and 15 comments a day. That's the Baron Trump is a moron post or whatever. But the comments are so AI sloppy written, and the grammar is all fucked up, and it's just like, okay, this is not what I want, right. Versus my Hive instance where I publish something and I get like 2 or 3 comments, but I know those are real human beings. That feels so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not disorienting because then it kind of, in a way, it sounds like in going to Beehive or Ghost or WordPress or wherever you're going to go after Substack, implodes, or even Mastodon, that it's really important to know you're talking to a real person. I think it does something to your central nervous system when you don't know whether you're talking to a real person,
Right.
It's like It fucks you up a little bit, because it creates a situation, I think, of hostility where you don't really know if you can trust somebody and trust their information, or I don't know. These are just thoughts that I have, but I'm trying to understand how they're trying to weaponize information systems, because it is very clear. I mean, this is the thing about fascism, right? It's meant to disorient you.
Yes, completely.
Well,
jerks.
Jerks.
Sometimes you just gotta say it, like
right. Just call them out.
Yeah. And it's just so fucking pathetic. Like, if you are so superior If you were so superior, why do you need to suppress voices? If you are so superior, your views would rise to the top on their own, right? You wouldn't
Right.
need to shadow ban people. You wouldn't need to do any, you wouldn't need to shut down people's fucking blogs like a tiny trans community teacher, like community college teacher. You don't need to do that shit. Like, that shows a kind of fragility that is, like, to me, emotionally regressive to the point of being in middle school. Thoughts on that?
No, I
Hard agree. Hard agree.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Toxic masculinity, like anything else that's toxic in those spaces, is ultimately so fragile and so delicate that breaking it is not hard, but you know, the anger and all the emotional shit that flies out of that is just wildly over appropriated and wildly aggressive, and just, okay, fine. Look, your butt hurt or whatever, be butt hurt, but shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's so real. I mean, I don't know. Someone was talking about the YouTube comments that you get. The YouTube comments that I get are so aggressive and so, oh my God. Like, I don't know what y'all's are like, but I don't even, sometimes I don't even want to go into YouTube Studio to delete them. And it doesn't seem like you can really delete them. You can just hide them for you. But I think they like exist on the, but it's that hostility, I think, is meant to, I don't know. I feel like that hostility is meant to intimidate both the person who created the content and then the people who are engaging with that content to say, this is legitimate, illegitimate. Don't engage with this content. I don't know. I don't know if that's, what is your read on why they're putting these like fucking hateful comments on YouTube on your stuff?
Just because they're trolls and they, they just like, there are a lot of haters out there, and there are a lot of like, it's fragility, and they can hide behind computers and, hide behind their screens and type whatever the fuck they want and, bully everyone, and that's it, but once they get caught, once they get found out, once hackers pull their information out and release it, then they're crying and they become a mess. But yeah, they're bullies. That's it. Yeah. Short and long of it. No.
I agree 100%. Like I said, in today's survival medium, which I wasn't going to drag you into, weirdo, the Alice Walker quote: the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's true. I mean, that's completely true. So
yeah, and I think sometimes people, to piggyback on that, because what you said is so powerful, and I think sometimes people don't understand what power is, but it's really the trust that people vest in you. And that is, it feels like so important, because the way that power travels, and this is just a food for thought, and maybe I should like ease on out of the conversation because I know Brandon is coming in and all that, but and I don't want to talk too much, but the way that power travels is through stories. So like, your power is actually in telling your story and refusing to be intimidated in the face of people who are trying to silence it, and they are terrified of your stories. And I think that sometimes you have to look at, okay, what are they attacking? How can I do more of that? I think if everyone just followed that calculus, we would find ourselves in a situation where these people wouldn't be able to succeed, because they're just trying to intimidate you because they're terrified of the power of your story.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you 100% from that perspective. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think I might head out, if that's okay. I don't know how to head out on this because tech is not my ministry, but it is.
Oh, that's okay. Close the tab.
Just close it and then I'm out, huh?
Yep.
That's
close
cool.
The tab. Close the tab. You'll drift out, and then we'll get Brandon in here. Somebody tell Brandon to jump on deck.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciated talking with you, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm only headed out just because my back is really, I have some arthritis, so it's hard for me to sit for a long time. So I think I'm going to go lay flat on a heating pad for 2 hours, but this has been worth it. So sitting up and the pain that I'm experiencing has been worth it, because it's nice to be in community with you. And thanks for holding space with me. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. Y'all. Sorry. I do the all with you guys all the time, and I gotta fucking stop that shit. That's just
No.
Ohio Midwestern bullshit. So thanks for having me, Yins. So that's Pennsylvania, right? We'll take it. Bye. All right.
Okay, yeah. Get Brandon in here.
Brandon.
I have not been able to participate in conversation. I've had my hands full.
Is YouTube that bad?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's been bad.
It's
like
I said, this is why I'm rushing to get the PeerTube server up so we can just no, we're not doing this. Oh, there's Brandon.
Wow.
Hi, Sacred.
Who
Sacred. Samantha's in.
There we go. There's Brandon.
So we both went to approve him at the same time?
Yeah, we both went to click him in, Sarah.
Okay.
Hurry up. I'm not touching it.
Hi.
I didn't do anything. Not my fault.
So we'll just go right into it. So you were listening, Brandon. Do you have thoughts about that conversation?
Oh, not yet. I need to think about it more.
It's hard for me to reconcile that Substack is turning into a toxic place, but I do think there is a bubble attached to it, and I think that inflation is eventually going to. So we all agree that Kansas has turned into a shitty fucking state, right?
An absolute shit show.
Yeah,
This
I
is
just heard. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Actually,
Oh well, I just heard on the news. I think it was yes. Oh, don't even put me front and center. I was just. I heard on the news that they were reopening I think a prison in Leavenworth to make it a nice facility.
Oh, jeez.
oh my god.
So my initial takeaway from Kansas. So I quoted Lord for this, which I do a lot because Audre Lorde is the most quotable author ever. And if you don't believe that, just read her shit. You know, I'm not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are different than my own. And so my takeaway from that is that the shackles in Kansas are essentially letters on government letterhead that say your license is no longer valid. You need to come and get a new one that has your birth gender on it. And they're not metaphorical. I mean, you know, in Lord's case, she knew that freedom is not divisible. That what happens to us now, you know, is happening to all of us who refuse the state's permission. You don't have to be in Wichita to feel the weight of that envelope. I didn't. I literally saw a video. I saw Loop's video of a girl that was like, I'm trans and I received this letter. And now if I can't fix this, I will be out of a job. You know, and so, I mean, you know, you're forced to do something with that. Here's the thing though. Why do they feel like they can do that? I don't understand.
Because they want to exterminate us.
Yeah, making certain classes of people unpersons is, you know, then they don't have to answer to the Constitution or the courts or anything. It's like, oh, well, they're not a person according to how we've manipulated the law. Therefore, we aren't beholden to the law in the way that we treat them.
Right. Yeah, we aren't beholden to the law that they are beholden to, and this is why.
Well, and they're creating steps, like by taking all trans people's licenses in Kansas, these trans people can't vote. So there goes a minor voting population. the damage is going to be widespread. Not the least that this is a model for other states.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's like HR 7661, which they literally threw onto the House floor after the State of the Union, which is seeking to ban federal funds from any schools that promote transgenderism. And they're trying to build, they're trying to build a federal architecture around. Here's the thing: the way the bill words it, the bill words transgenderism as an adult topic that only adults are allowed to engage in.
They want to tie our existence into being a sex crime. That's one of the legal theories that they've been pursuing. So they have like several different ways that they're trying to disenfranchise us. So you have like the sex crimes route, and you've got the gender identity fraud route, and so it's a multi-pronged attack, and that's one of the things that makes it difficult to fight back against. So I don't know.
No?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
No.
and also on the sex crimes thing, like we already have this system where people who commit certain sex crimes are have punishments that extend beyond any sort of incarceration. So you've got the registries, you've got the you can't live within a certain distance of a school or a church or whatever, and that makes sense for the kinds of sex crimes it's been applied to. But if they declare us just as bad as people who do those abusive things, then they can say, well, you can't live in regular housing. Now you're living in the pay-by-week hotel or motel out on the edge of town, and you're not able to take legitimate employment. So now you're having to, do things that are under the table. And so even if we don't get to them rolling out the final solution against us, like being pushed aside through all of these legal means is going to hurt and cause the deaths of a lot of trans people.
And that's what I was going to say, like cause the death of a lot of trans people. It's like a viper or like some snake that is squeezing you and squeezing their prey until their prey is dead. So that's what it feels like. It's like we're in a pressure cooker here. And all of these laws are being built around us, like you said, Miranda, to kind of push us out. And by pushing us out and calling us, a menace or whatever they're going to call us to society, they can then go ahead and take the next step, which is, well, we all know what the next step is, but.
Well, so the language around Mary Miller's HR 761 was to call it to ban strippers in schools. While they were unable to cite a single case where that ever happened, the strippers in schools mentality was to target trans identity, LGBTQIA plus books, like Genderqueer, for instance, which is a popular book in school libraries. So they're trying to weaponize the innocence of children against the trans identity as they see it. and that's hugely a problem. And here's what's ironic about the situation is the path that they take to try to illegalize our identity is so wildly crazy and so far out there, and it fails. So then they try something else. Well, something else is even more wildly out there and illegal and unconstitutional and whatever. And so I don't understand why they don't think, well, if I didn't get it here, well, I'm going to get it here. Well, I didn't get it there. Now I'm going to go. The farther you move outside of the scope, the hell of a lot less likely any of that shit will ever pass. It won't fly. It certainly won't test the Constitution.
But I think what they're doing is, like, in the meantime, throwing this shit out here so that they can get enough people to either capitulate and not wait for all the lawsuits to go through, or something like that.
There's a thing about that. Kansas wants 1,500 people to be quiet about having their licenses revoked. They're not being quiet, but Kansas wants them to be.
Right.
It's like the thing with the DOJ. I don't know if either of you have heard, but apparently in 2023, there was a massive 500 terabyte trove of FBI Epstein investigation data that was compromised by an external threat.
Like stolen or compromised?
Like compromised. And so 500 terabytes, that's a shit ton of data that pertain to the agency's investigation into Epstein, was compromised in 2023 by a cyber intrusion, according to data that's recently released. The file in question appears to be a sworn statement in 2024 by Special Agent Aaron Spivak, who in the report documented that what he described as a potential hack into the FBI's field office in New York. Well, who the fuck you think did that? In the report, Spivak wrote that 500 terabytes of data had been lost as a result of the intrusion. His agency did manage to recover 400 of the 500 terabytes, however, ultimately resulting in 100 terabytes worth of loss. So, what do you think they lost?
Anything mentioning Trump?
Trump data, yeah. The hacking incident would have occurred under the Biden administration, which makes it even more disturbing that happened. But the DOJ has already admitted that it is in possession of at least 2.5 million more Epstein files, files that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has said will never be released.
I don't think the public could handle it. There would be mass riots. Like, it's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting enough about it, all the child stuff, but the stuff they. I heard one thing, and I can't even say it because I don't want to discuss y'all. But what they did to these kids is just, oh God, it makes me so sick and so angry. I don't know how people can take it. I mean, I don't know how the average person can just not be pissed, like absolutely pissed, and absolutely disgusted.
I think there's a larger issue. I mean, again, just like we're ramping up into this issue of the federal government attempting to federalize the vote, because that's coming next. Right. Here's the thing: there's a real problem with that. And if you don't understand this, like, go get a copy of your state's constitution and find the voting clauses in the state's constitution. Voting, how voting happens, and when voting happens are a states' rights issue, which means if the federal government tries to take that power away, you are turning it into a states' rights issue. The last time that happened, we went into civil war. We went into flat out civil war. There were states that seceded from the Union because their states' rights, which was slavery, was being banned by the federal government. And so the federal government challenging a state constitution, we're back to the same point now. Where
well, you don't even have to go to the state constitutions. The U.S. Constitution says that how voting works is an issue of the state, like for the states to decide.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to turn into a constitutional issue. And if that happens, then yes, we're going to go into civil conflict. I really, at this point, going into November's election, I think we're looking at civil conflict no matter what happens.
I do too, 100%.
Yeah, I 100% believe that will be going into full-blown civil conflict, unilaterally all across the board.
That would not surprise me at all.
It's just disturbing, wildly and crazily disturbing. So going back to Walker's quote from earlier, and Weirdo Friend was right. Alice Walker's power quote is immensely sensible here. Walker wrote those words for a world that looked a lot like this one. There were systems of oppressions, and like gravity and all the other shit, like the things that have always been that way. They're not. They're choices made by specific people with specific names with specific intents. A woman in Kansas who said she'd only get a new license if she needs one before she can afford to flee. That woman has power. You all have power. I do. Sarah does. Brandon does. You have to use that. Don't go gently into the night. You have to fight it. And fighting it is hard, but you do have the power to fight those machinations. You have a legal right. You have a legal standing. Hell, you have a constitutional, there's an obligation in the Constitution to protect the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's, just because it happens to you doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. It's going to suck. And it's going to be painful. I can't wait until the first person in Kansas gets arrested for going into a bathroom and sent to prison. And that's going to go all the way the fuck up the chain because, they'll take that all the way up to SCOTUS, and SCOTUS will say, this is a violation of basic human rights.
The problem with that is that person is still in jail, rotting away, and probably, if they're a trans woman, put into a male facility.
Which is...
Yeah. Forced detransition and decoding and all of that comes with
and I hear that they're actually doing like some conversion therapy in prison system. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, 100%. Sorry, I have to look at work occasionally. Despite the fact that I'm still in a pretty large amount of pain, but that's irrespective at this point. My mouth really hurts. Right, yeah. But how the fuck do we manage this? All right, Brandon, you want to pick apart my quickie feed for people?
Well, I wanted to say one more thing about Kansas. Besides the
please do.
trans license and the ICE facility, there's also a proposed $600,000 1,000 square foot data center that's going to be built. It's proposed to be built in Miami County, Kansas, and it's basically for AI. I mean, to support AI.
I mean, the AI boom is pushing all these data centers to go up so that people can. Here's the thing: what does AI give you that you can't live without? Go read a fucking book. Go retain some knowledge. Why do you depend on? Here's the thing: I'm a software developer. You know what I use AI for? 100%. This is what I use AI for. I wrote this block of Python code. Can you just tell me if it's buggy or not? And when the AI says it's buggy, okay, I go back to the drawing board and rewrite it. That's it. How is that any different than, Brandon, when you write something and you grammar check what you've written with words grammar checker? Does the grammar make sense? It doesn't? Okay, I fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, that people have come to rely. I hate to say this, and I told Kira this the other day, with the way AI has been, we're all going to turn into the fat people in Wall-E.
Yeah.
We're all going to turn into the fat people in Wall-E and be like, oh, I can't reach the straw. Oh well. It's not important. It's not important at all. I'm sorry, by the way, Brandon, to displace you in today's show.
Oh no, I mean, I was fine. I was gonna just sit out today if this discussion went on.
Well, no, I mean, so your weirdo friend's issue, I really wanted that to get spoken to because
yeah,
it's systemic of a larger
problem.
problem that's happening. People's ability to engage in free speech is being affected by a corporation's desire to shut it down. I don't, and on top of that, I mean, your weirdo friend's a PhD.
No.
Really? You're gonna shutter that voice. That voice is more educated than most voices, around. That's a more educated voice than probably 80% of the country.
That voice created trans rhetoric.
Right. And so, you're going to, trans rhetoric, that's bad. We have to shut that the fuck down. No. Gay rhetoric is bad. Lesbian rhetoric is bad. It's sort of like I was reading Them Us the other day. And so, Brandon, here's a question I would like for you to think about. Historically, queer spaces are disappearing
rapidly.
I mean, gay and lesbian bars have been shutting down in droves. And why? Why? I was talking to Kira about it, and she was like, well, yeah, because like in the middle of the week, there's queer people in those spaces and they're doing queer things or whatever. And the weekends come around and it's like you go over to Felix's downtown, or not downtown, it's over in Buckhead, Ainsley Park area of Atlanta. You go over there on a Friday night for board game night, and half the people in the bar are straight. So,
straight and demanding accommodation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It is partly a trend overall that a lot of people aren't going to bars and drinking anymore, though. Like a lot of young people, they just don't go to bars as much as like when I was younger, and probably a lot of us. But I think a lot of it kind of came about with COVID. People became used to just staying in, and now they just drink and get high at home instead of going out and doing it, I guess.
That's what I
But
was going to say. Good trees at home, you got good trees, you got food. Why would you go to the bar? You know?
Why would you engage socially with people? I can't imagine. I mean,
Well, I was thinking more like driving home drunk or like, but yeah,
this is like a thing. I mean, here in Atlanta, there's a stretch of road called Cheshire Bridge Road. And back in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s, Cheshire Bridge Road was like the queerest drag in town. Like at the top of that street was Gino's Pizza, which is the gayest pizza parlor in Atlanta. There's rainbow flags, the fuck all over it. And then you go down Cheshire Bridge, there's the Colonnade actually, that's the local Grays and Gays buffet place. You go into the Colonnade on a Thursday night, I guarantee you, half of the people to more than half of the people that are in there eating are over 50 and part of the bear crowd. Guarantee you, every time. And so then right behind Colonnade was the Cheshire Motor Inn, which that place has a huge history all in and of itself. But last month they demolished it. It's gone.
Yeah, that sucks. Is Tokyo Valentino over there?
Yeah, Tokyo Valentino is right across the street from Gino's.
Is it still there?
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah,
they
I've
don't
heard
want
a
it
lot
to be
of
there,
stories.
but it's still there. But then BJ Roosters and the Heretic, which are both classically gay establishment bars, are both a little further down. And I read the other day they're considering shutting down the Heretic, and I'm like,
oh my god, wow.
Okay, the queer culture in Atlanta is weird. Over in Midtown, there was a bar called Burke's that shut down for 4 years. Get why?
Burkhart's?
Burkhart's. Burkhart's shut down for like 4 years because about 6 years ago, the owner of Burkhart's said, "I'm not going to have POC drag performers in here anymore," and the people that all went there revolted and refused to go to Burkhart's at night, and he had to shut down for 4 years until somebody bought the property from him and reopened it. But historically, there are gay and queer spaces. Backstreet in Atlanta, it finally shut. Yeah, Backstreet shuttered its doors eventually. But Club Anytime. I love going. As a heterosexual person, even though Club Anytime was not implicitly a queer space, I love going there because you'd be dancing with people or whatever. And my ex was dancing with some guy, and he was like dancing and whatever. She's like, "Oh no, I'm married." He's like, "Oh, don't worry, honey, I'm gay as fuck. You don't have to worry about me. I just want to dance with you." That kind of stuff. Those spaces are disappearing. And it's
in Kansas City called Gale's Public House. I believe it was originally a sports bar, and the owner is gay, and they've had drag shows there for quite a while, but they recently have cut those down, if not completely out. And there are a lot of people in the drag community, Kansas City drag community, that are pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I would be upset about that. I would be very upset about that. In Atlanta, there's only one lesbian bar left.
Yeah.
There's only my sister's room, but like Front Page News, Tongue and Groove went to not being a sapphic space, and it went to just being a heterosexual, like an everybody space or whatever. But so there's like only one lesbian bar left in Atlanta, which, as a trans woman, when I go in there are people that like make eyes or whatever, and you're like, "No, trust me, I want this place to stay sacred as much as you do."
Right.
Because I keep it. But there's this just belief that queer spaces should just blend into, queer spaces, and that the problem is they're not able to sustain because people aren't going out as much. They should. I mean, gosh, be social. You don't have to be a communist to be social.
That's what online spaces are for, socials.
Anyway, so that was really what I had for today. I was glad we got to talk to Weirdo Friend. I did want to tell everybody that's on the show, yes, coming probably today, if not today, tomorrow, I'm actively publishing if you want to get into safe social spaces that the persons for which run this show, myself included, control and regulate, then yes, I will show you how to find those spaces, how to register for them, and how to interact with them so that you can be in a progressively safe space that's not AI driven and not sloppy driven and not bot driven, and is actually human beings that are actually talking and communicating in ways that provide you with valid content versus going to YouTube and seeing computer generated bullshit for miles, which nobody wants to experience. I don't want to experience it. So, I don't want any of you to experience it either. So I'll push that through today while also working on the getting the remainder of that stack completed. Now, I will tell everybody all of that infrastructure is hosted in Helsinki, Finland. And why did I pick Helsinki, Finland? Because when the U.S. government comes for my content and says, we need all of your content, okay, here's my provider. He's in Helsinki, Finland. Good luck. Because literally, they're going to look at the U.S. government and go, you want an extradition for this shit? Fuck you. Fuck you, we're not doing it. So that
God
means
bless Finland.
Right. That means that everybody's data that is in that space is safe. That data belongs to you, not to me, even though I run the infrastructure, even though I control the infrastructure. Your data is yours. What you do with that data is your choice. If you leave the space, you get a big, hefty file zip file that contains all of your data. Do whatever you want with it. That's not my business. But the objective is to provide a safe space for people to freely express themselves and not have to worry about corporate ownership or corporate control or corporate algorithms or any of that other bullshit that's attached to it. So anyway, that's what I had. Everybody, Miranda, Onyx, Sarah. Sarah did not talk very much today. Hey, Sarah, have you met your person yet?
I was about to say, I'm sure she wants to talk, doesn't she?
She's going to do a long monologue on our next show.
How she hasn't met her person yet, I don't know why. Brandon, have you seen him again yet?
No.
Oh, gosh. It's the weekend. Please tell me you're going to go out.
I don't know. We haven't really texted much lately. So
I'm very sad. Brandon, you and Sarah are like my soap opera. You and Sarah are my soap opera. Plus, I'm tired of writing stories about Sarah's person, and all Sarah does is tell people in the bar to shut up. It's none of your fucking business. Go the fuck away. I'm tired of writing that. So if she would just hurry up and give me permission and then tell me who the fuck it is, I could write about it, and we wouldn't have to waffle. I feel so much better. Hey,
we are not a very exciting soap opera.
I could make it more exciting, Brandon.
Oh wait, I need to give a soap opera look. Zoom in.
Wait, Brandon, you're still alive? Yes. Even though I went off of that cliff and fell 500 feet into icy water and you saw my body break into a bunch of million pieces or whatever. Nope, I'm still alive. Very
And
much
I look completely different because of plastic surgery and.
Yes, I had to have reconstructive surgery, so now I look entirely different than I did. But it's me,
Yeah.
I promise.
It's still me, I promise.
Oh, okay, well, great. If nobody has anything, I'll let everybody go about their day, and I'm going to eat my burritos.
Ooh.
Yummy.
What kind?
Do what?
What kind?
Oh, these are, Kira, what kind of burritos are these? Beef and bean burritos.
Yum.
From.
My freezer.
Oh.
I've got some beef and bean burritos from Trader Joe's. Do y'all have Trader Joe's over there where y'all are? Brandon, Miranda, Sarah?
Not
Yeah.
not too close. They're around, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, Brandon, thank you, albeit short. Next Monday at 1 o'clock, everybody, back to the show. Onyx, Miranda, Sarah, thank you for participating. Sarah did not answer my question. I'm very unhappy about that, but I mean, I'm just going to sort of, ride with it. Sarah, will you please lovingly collect the episode and distribute it to the people appropriately? She's not even unmuting. She's just giving me a thumbs up. This is not fair. You're just mad at me because they keep calling you out.
She's really quiet. She's very good at being very quiet, at being very tight-lipped. They're very good at that.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody have a safe afternoon. Everybody that's watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming by. Please come back Monday and Friday at 1 o'clock. Always, there are ad hoc sessions that I try to do on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to try to get better about that while I get all this other shit in order. May even go back to doing a night show again. I don't know. We'll see. But with all of that, thank you, everybody. Be safe out there. Do good things. Onyx, Miranda, Sarah, Brandon, please all do good and positive things. I'll have a better show lined up for Monday.
Bye, y'all.